Hey guys, welcome back to more AFK Arena. In today's video, after my last video with the Lucius solo, which was a bit of fun, I mentioned about 15 times during that video because I didn't want to mislead anyone about being at a low deficit. So I thought maybe it's time to get Chiasma like more up to scratch on the deficits that we're pushing. And I've never really recorded an endgame push because I honestly think it's quite boring. But you guys let me know. We'll just play through. We'll talk some smack and we'll get through it together. But I want to have a talk about end game versus early game, why I love early game accounts and stuff like that, because of what the end game really is. Now, end game is different if you're a whale or a free to play, because free to play you have less stuff built, so you do have to get a bit more creative. But let's jump into it and then we'll have a talk about it, because as you can see here, if I come in here, basically we come to a stage. Okay, stage, cool. Obviously we are still at a low deficit, so it's going to be fairly easy. All I do, this is the process. Okay, we look at formations. These are like the highest deficit formations that manage to clear it. So if they're clearing this at level 821, we're definitely clearing it at level 1000. So what I do is I look for the Thorin cheese. Okay, this is the Thorin cheese stage. So now I click through the next guy. Okay, he's using Thorin cheese, using Thorin cheese, using Thorin cheese, because there's always going to be someone who hates Thorin cheese like me. And here it is. So this is no Thorin cheese. No. His stage 1 is Thorin cheese. All right, let's see if we can find someone. Let's see if we can find someone not copying the Thorin cheese. Every stage until now, I found someone. Okay. Screw you with the Thorin cheese. So this is where we then have to get a little bit creative and make our own team, because that was team 1 Thorin cheese. Oh, this one doesn't have it. This one doesn't have it. Wait for it. Wait for it. Wait for it. That's a Thorin cheese. You know, this one kind of looks like a bit more like it can do it itself. So let's just go use this. If not, we will make our own team. But normally I just look for something that doesn't have Thorin cheese, and then we hit auto battle, and then away we go. The thing with a bunch of these formations is I don't think they have the druid, the new what's his face, the new wilder guy. I talk about this guy every bloody video. And I still can't remember his name. He's just the druid. He's a wicked unit. But they're not using him. And he's like a really good tech unit. And then obviously we got so many characters to choose from. We can make up the final team. But this is literally what the end game is. Is just do this, copy past the teams, and away you go. And by the same extent, now the one thing that collections did do is bring some variability to this. If you're pushing at a really high deficit, it becomes a lot harder to do this, because now, especially with collections, there's a lot more variability in what your characters can do. So I do think at a high deficit, pushing really hard, this does change. But the other problem lies in the fact that like campaign just doesn't reward you enough in the current state of the game to make it a worth pushing campaign once you're up to this sort of stage, aside from sort of like flex value. You get small increases in resources, you get some stargazers. When we look at Chiasma, like we'll check it after this. We'll check what we got for clearing like the last chapter and have a look at what we've got resource wise, because it's kind of ridiculous. Okay, so this is the one where we're not going to be able to cheese this because our Thorin's too strong. So we're going to try again. And then this is where I go, okay, let's make our own team. So what do we got available to us? We got Lucius. I know it's a Graveborn team, but I kind of want to try the Lucius. I don't think he works very well here, but that's fine. You know, we got something like the... Wait, how is the Leica already victorious? Wait, does it... what? Why isn't she grayed out? Okay, so we got you... What we got from Dimensional? Okay, Mulan's taken. We got Rem, we got Amelia. Okay, let's just do Rem Amelia. That's cool. Wait, Amelia's gonna get grabbed. I think she does her thing before that. I can't remember. Let's go ahead and grab, like I said, old mate's just really fantastic and all this stuff. We can probably do it like that. That's probably better because he doesn't lose energy from the what's her face, which makes us pretty sweet. And then I don't even care past that. Let's get a faction bonus. So let's get a Celestial, or okay, let's go Chad. This is going to like not like a great form team. This is just me slapping something together. But we should be okay with this team. I feel like this is a pretty solid team. Actually, the Rem's not going to be able to do anything. Yeah, that was my bad. We can probably sub Rem out, but in general, you get the gist. Like, we're at a low deficit. We can put full teams together that should be able to slap the content that we're on. And then we just go ahead and copy pasta the rest of it and just auto our way through. So, and I think the game has put itself into this state where it's just like a copy pasta game. Now, obviously, like I said, if you are free to play, kind of like on my free to play account, it's a little bit different because it's, you know, you don't have all access to all the characters. You don't have all the awakens. You don't have all the celestial hypergenes. So it is different pushing campaign. But then once again, even on like my free to play account, it's less about the campaign pushing and it's more about, wait, let's just exit this. And it's more about doing your Cursed Realm, your Treasure Scramble, your Nightmare Corridor. Like those things matter more because you get better resources. Because if we take a look here, what do we get? So we get some diamonds. Okay, do we need diamonds on Kiasma? No, we don't. And once again, if you're free to play, yes, you do. You need these things more. But just for this account, it's like, okay, we don't need that. Tier 4s, we've got like 50 boxes of Tier 4s. So we don't need those. So we're not stressed about the diamonds. I mean, honestly, the signature items are actually pretty decent to grab those upgrades. Because those are going to help us obviously with signature item 40 now. But don't really stress about those. Stargazers. Do we need stargazers? Not really. Don't really need stargazers. Do we need baits? Not really. So it's the funny thing, which is where it is at the moment. I really do wish but like the thing is, like, obviously this is a whale account. So, you know, you don't really need anything at that point. But even on my free-to-play account, it just doesn't feel like pushing campaign is a priority. And that's just how I feel. You guys let me know how you feel. It just feels, I really loved OG AFK Arena when like pushing campaign was the focus. But now we're shifting to a focus of, you know, the boss battles, the Cursed Realm, Treasure Scramble as well with the PvP and stuff like that. And it's sort of like campaign has lost its flair for me. Let me know if that's a fair take, but I just feel like campaign's lost the flair. But when you got a whale account, we just copy pasta. And if there's something you guys want me to do on Kiasma, let me know. It's just like I never really stress about pushing hard because, or like putting videos out, because yeah, it's just kind of like this is what we do. We copy pasta and we watch stuff get stomped. But I really want to push this one. I'll push through this chapter into the next chapter, see how far we can go into the next chapter to get a feeling for, like, I want to, because I really want to test Lucius now at like a reasonable deficit. Like, I'm not going to try and push like with the top ranked players, but I want to get to a reasonable deficit. So I feel like if we get into like maybe midway through the next chapter, we might be close to that. Actually, what we can do is we can check what people have cleared the final stage of this chapter with. So we'll take a look at that. All right, let's get through this battle, and then we'll take a look at it. Wait, I can exit it here, can't I? Now let's just wait till it's done. This has been a long battle. Better not mess it up. All right, exit. All right, let's check. So final stage of this chapter. Let's see what people are doing it with. I'm tipping this guy's going to be like level 800 still. What's he? 825. Yeah, dude's crazy pushing. Let's go down. Hey, Cero. Okay, so Cero is someone I consider to push decently hard. And what level's he? 990. And what are we? What are we at? We're 1010. Okay, so I feel like if we clear this chapter, maybe get like midway through the next chapter, I feel like then we're at a decent range to test things a bit better. And I'll come back with you guys because I really want to get to a better deficit and then test the Lucius solo and try and get the Lucius solo happening at a better deficit. But we'll see how we go. Just keep in mind that those guys did push those deficits without signature item 40s. So we do have the additional power creep on us that is going to be benefiting us. Now, that's the other thing to consider. Some of them may have even done it without collections. So, you know, there is additional power, incremental, you know, beefs. So maybe, you know, if they're pushing at like 1,000, like maybe if they're pushing at, you know, 1,100, I kind of want to be at that 1010, but I don't know how hard I'm going to push, you know? And so this is the thing. I can leave the old formations in there and we can see how it goes, but I prefer when I get to one of the multi-stages to just go and select what the previous users had. because if you lose one and then you got to reformat them, I ain't just picking the one team. I'm just redoing all the teams. But we'll see how this one goes. We'll let this just play out with the teams that we had from the last formation. Because let's face it, the teams that we're using are good teams. Yes, when you're at higher deficits, you need to pick the teams that counter the enemy teams. But when you're at a lower deficit, as long as you have a really strong team, you should be right to push through. Because these teams are normally synergized to the teams to counter the opposing team. And, you know, sometimes there is 1 or 2 units on 1 or 2 stages that completely counter it. For instance, this one, look at that. Belinda's insta-dead. So Belinda being insta-dead doesn't really help us. We don't have the seal on this team or anything like that. So this is one of those stages where it's like, okay, this ain't gonna work because we ain't gonna deal the damage. So now we got to exit out. But sometimes with something like this, we can try again, and maybe we can just swap the Belinda over. Because what the hell even killed the Belinda? Was it the floppy? So let's just try something like this. Oh wait, I'd have to move that as well. Okay, Bones died, which sucks. But if everyone else lives, Belinda can do something. Nah, yeah, we're done. All right, so this is what I mean. And yes, we could go through the effort of just making this team work. However, let's do that quickly. Let's just try it. Because now he dies, but if Bones survives, that's cool. Oh, dude, Bones, what are you doing, buddy? What business do you have dying, Bones? Okay. So then what we do is we go formations. We go here. And we go, okay, he's got Thorin cheese. Thorin cheese, Thorin cheese, Thorin cheese, Thorin cheese, Thorin cheese, 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 cheese. Ooh, no cheese. No cheese. Do you have cheese on any of these? No cheese. No cheese. No cheese. Hey, and we go use. It's going to reset all the battles. Doesn't matter. We just go in. We go auto battle. We go accept. And now we're guaranteed to win. So, like, this is my experience with Kiasma endgame. Once again, it is different on free-to-play. So I completely understand that. But, I mean, the real focus is on the other 3 core game modes, in my opinion, in the endgame. But, and this is why you guys always see me starting new accounts, because new accounts are so fun to push campaign because you get to use different units who maybe aren't as strong in the end game. You get to always experiment with different stuff, except you're always going to build Rem because Rem's OP. But like, I just really like pushing campaign in the early game because it really brings me back to the original OG days of AFK Arena. And in the early game, pushing campaign unlocks all those additional features, which get you all the resources. So pushing campaign is like the priority. Till you get to like chapter 30-ish or wherever it is, and then, you know, campaign kind of doesn't matter as much anymore. I think it's like 34, 35, something like that. And then it doesn't matter as much anymore. But dude, early game accounts, so damn fun. I would love to see a vanilla server for AFK Arena. I think that would be fun as hell. I know a lot of people wouldn't, but for me, as someone who likes playing alt accounts, I think it would be cool as hell. But that ain't happening. I think AFK Journey is going to try and be that vanilla server. Although AFK Journey is already so inflated with content, like not overinflated to AFK Arena point, but like it's got a ton of content where it's not just the idle game. Plus you've got the exploration in AFK Journey, which like expands it even further. But that's kind of what we're looking at. But you know, there's a look at what the end game for a whale looks like. It's pretty copy pasta. And then you can do the same thing in Curse Realm. You can do the same thing in Nightmare Corridor. And then you know, sometimes it's a little bit different. Sometimes it's a little bit different in Treasure Scramble. You know, you do have to kind of make teams there. So Treasure Scramble is a bit more interesting. But that is the end game experience, guys. I got nothing more to say. You guys let me know if there's anything you want to see, especially on Kiasma. I'm happy to do anything. Like I said, I don't normally do campaign pushes because it's honestly, it's pretty tedious. But as always, guys, thanks for watching. Hope you have an awesome day, and I look forward to seeing the next one. Cheers.